Hi, it's the Tiny One / Bishie, and welcome to day 6 of Vlogmas. I am, oh my god, work was very stressful. Is my hat dirty? Oh, it's got a little thing. Yes, I'm starting to get bangs. My hair grows so fast, and I'm wearing my cloak shirts. It is the Five Nights at Freddy's version, and then the back, I'd be able to show the back. Show back. It says let's party. I think it says let's party. Watch me have done that and it shows like nothing at all. But yeah, I love this shirt. I did a video about this shirt. Cold coffee, because why not? This is like the last bit of coffee from the pot. I usually make a pot of coffee. My sink just all of a sudden had a whole bunch of water just gush out for like no reason. Nobody's over there and nobody touched it. If I have a ghost, I won't be surprised. So I make a pot of coffee in the morning, especially if I have to go to work. Then my roommates, can have some coffee, and I can have something. Now that it's getting colder, I can have something nice and warm to drink. And usually I don't finish it. I have the rest of it when I get home from work. So that's what this is. Okay. Squish time. What's this one? Oh, is that good one? It is a kitty face. Can you see it from the glare? Yeah, I'll pull it out. Look how cute. Oh my goodness. You got a little paint residue on his ear. Can you see it? Yeah. Little paint right there, but that's okay. And his little face is a bit lopsided. And, oh, he's got paint there too. But that's okay. You are still loved. You are still loved. Do you have a hole on? Oh no, he has a hole on the bottom. He, she, the squishy. You are still loved. Let's see. You are still loved. That is so cute. I didn't realize, like, there's one squishy in particular that I'm looking for. That it was the reason I got this particular squishy box. And I haven't pulled it out yet, but that's cool. There's so many of them that are my favorites. Okay, so I don't remember if I talked about these two people before, but I'm going to talk about them now. And these are actually two teachers I had in elementary school. Now, I see it as a good thing now, of course, hindsight, da da da. But back then, I hated this so much. I had an aunt who worked for the school district of the school I attended. And that she worked in it was called the Instructional Materials Center. She's since retired, but well, she moved on to something else, and then now she's officially retired. But she worked in a department called the Instructional Materials Center, and basically what that means is that teachers, teachers' aides, that sort of thing, would be able to go to her departments at the school district, and there was a catalog of all sorts of stuff, and they can pick and choose what they want out of the catalog and rent it. It was like a library. And we had, I say we because I ended up working there later on in my teenage years, but that's another story. So that particular department had film strips, it had laser discs, it had video tapes, VHS tapes, it had laser discs. I know I'm saying all these old terminology. We didn't have Blu-ray. There was no Blu-ray back then. There was no DVDs. They had floppy computer discs, books that you could check out, models. So there was like a model of a human skeleton. There was a model of the human eyeball, I think. I believe there was also a model like a pig embryo. So we had also, I think there was also one of an actual baby, human baby. So there was all sorts of interesting things that that could be checked out. The problem was she got on a very good rapport with some of these teachers. And some of these teachers ended up being my teachers. So one of them I want to talk about is my third grade teacher named Miss Morris. And Miss Morris was this old, kind of like grandmotherly type teacher. She had this grandmotherly type personality. And she discovered that I was not eating my lunch. I was going through a lot in third grade. My birth mom died when I was 6.5. And I was still trying to process that. I wasn't able to grieve properly. I wasn't able to really say goodbye in my own way. And they would consider it acting out, but in my way, it was trying to cope. And one of them was I wouldn't eat lunch. And at the time, I was actually living with my aunt. So what my aunt and Miss Morris got together is the way my school worked is after lunch, the kids would all put their head down and the lights would be out and they'd take a little rest because of all the hyperness and running around at lunch. And she wanted to get some sort of calm going so that then she could turn the lights on and start her lessons after lunch. So with all the kids heads down, nobody was looking, Miss Morris would have me get my lunch, and because I started to throw my lunch away. and that was a no-no. So she would have me get my lunch, and she'd have me pick one thing out of my lunch, and then in the dark and the quiet, I would eat that one thing, and she'd be satisfied that I ate something from my lunch. She was worried about me, and at the time I thought, this is such a bother, and she's bugging me, and da da da. But now I appreciate what she did for me. So one of the other things is that I've been short all my life, and I'm still in the process of actually figuring out why that is, what exact medical condition or conditions I have that cause me to be short. I am, according to what I've seen online, I am considered a dwarf. I am 4 feet 7 inches. And I've always been small. In fact, right before my second open heart surgery at 9 years old, I was only 36 pounds. So that should give you an idea. Because I've been so short all my life, there are a lot of times, even now, I can't properly sit in a chair. And what I mean by properly sit in a chair is a regular person, and I hate using the term regular person, but a person can go and sit in a chair and have their back against the back of the chair, be fully sitting in the chair, and their feet will touch the ground. My feet do not touch the ground. I am that short. In fact, here's a little laugh. Here's a little laugh at my expense. There are a lot of times, in order to have some part of my feet touching the ground, I go like this. So I have my tiptoes on the ground, just to be touching the ground. And even sitting on the toilet, my feet hover over the floor, unless I do the little pointed toe and touch the floor with my toe. So you can imagine this little tiny person, not even, like, my feet would dangle and they'd fall asleep, and it would distract me, and it would just be, it'd be bad, and it'd be painful because of the sensation of your feet being asleep and then like waking up. It's horrible. So Miss Morris talked over with her husband, and he actually, this is so sweet, he actually devised me this box, and it was like, I think it was like this tall, something like that. It was tall enough I could rest my feet on the box, and I was able to, because my feet were solely rested on something. I no longer had the numbness or my feet falling asleep or getting distracted or because of it or nothing like that. And so I thought that was very sweet for them to come up with that idea, and then for him to do that specifically for me. And it was so painful to hear that her husband got really sick and passed away. This was years and years ago. And then I like to think it was a broken heart, but she died about a year after he did. And it was just so, so sad. But I like to believe that they're at least together now, so it's not as sad. Now, another teacher that was at the same school I had in 6th grade. And this teacher was named Mr. Britt. And Mr. Britt was this great, big, huge. He was wide, and he was a very large man. And he had this presence about him that was scary and intimidating. And it was his room was one of the rooms where if you got in trouble and you had to do detention, because at my school you did detention during school hours. So if you got in trouble, you were sent to either his classroom or Mr. Richard's classroom, I like to say, is the classroom next to it. But yeah, Mr. Britt had that type of personality where if you didn't know him, he was scary. This great big scary guy. And he had been known for making kids cry who had to do detention in his classroom. And you can imagine my aunt knew him. Okay, she loved him. He was one of her favorite people. I didn't know that. And so when enrollment came around and I saw he was my 6th grade teacher, I was horrified. I was so scared. I didn't want to go to school. It was just this whole ordeal because I thought he was some great big meanie. And come to find out, he was one of the nicest, kindest, sweetest teachers. It's just that he had this aura about him, and he was strict. But he was strict because he wanted students to do their best and fullest potential. And he knew that he had to get a little tough in order for that to come out of the students. Because if he was lax, then the students would, some of the students would tend to just slack off and not fulfill their full potential. And thanks to him, I graduated elementary school. And he was so proud for me to walk over to him and for him to shake my hand and hand me my diploma. It was just one of the best moments of my life. I used to have it on tape somewhere, and I don't know what happened to it. I don't know if it got lost in one of the many moves I've had to do. I don't know if it's in a storage box somewhere, but yeah, there is proof. I did graduate, and it was during one of the hardest moments of my life because I was dealing with a lot of changes. I'm still dealing with my mom's death, which people kept pushing aside, and ignoring how I was feeling because they thought, oh, well, if, kids bounce back. And I was just not one of those kids that was bouncing back. But he helped me actually actually want to pass. And I passed. And I don't know, I feel that there are times that teachers don't get that much recognition. And I just wanted to highlight and talk about 2 of the teachers I had in my life that made an impact and that I still think of from time to time. I'm not sure. Unfortunately, I think he developed diabetes because he was so big. And I'm not sure if he's passed away or not because of it. But I don't know. With my aunts no longer being connected with the school district, because when she left the school district, she actually went to a school, and I think she was working in the office for 1 or 2 schools. So she was still connected with that particular school district. And when she retired, we kind of like lost that connection. But yeah. So those are my two stories. Do y'all have any teachers that made a very good positive impact in your life, or if you have kids, your kids' life, or if you have brothers and sisters in your brothers and sisters' lives? Let me know in the comments below. But anyways, that's going to be all for now. Thank you so much for watching. I stabbed myself in the lip with a straw. Please stay safe, stay happy, and I'll talk to y'all later. Bye. Look at this cutie. Look at how cute. Look. It didn't turn off.